We are back. It's better to just put what you have on out there instead of asphyxiate on editing. That's been a primal rule of the Horrific Network. Jimmy Higbee's, what is this, that game you got going on there? Disney Hero Battles.
Heroes Battles.
I like every word in that
You
sentence.
guys want more drinks?
No, thank you. Or does anyone?
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
Just drink yours.
There you go.
So Jimmy, Lexi, Rick, Charlie, John, Ashley, the Higbees, Kane is in, Santa Cruz. This is our...
Hanging out with the Lost Boys.
You know who else is in
Probably.
Santa Cruz?
Yeah, really.
Tech and Mayday and UBI.
Oh,
My homies.
I doubt Kane is at that concert.
He should be.
It's not his crowd.
It's not gonna... He won't.
Sounds like his personal problem.
I mean, I got nothing against Tech 9. I think he opened that night we went to Insane Clown Posse, right?
It was a Tech 9.
No? All right, then.
Oh, it was
Just got shot down.
it was them people from Los Banos, the
Oh, yeah, the
Moonshine Bandits.
Moonshine
Oh, they're
Bandits.
They're great.
Yeah.
Anyway, tonight's not about that. Tonight, some serious questions will be answered, though, because all last season, John Scott cried out and demanded we see a movie in the IMAX theater. And tonight,
Did I really?
much like a WWE storyline coming to a
I don't
head,
remember it, John.
we will see La
We'll go with
Llorona
it.
La Llorona.
Well, I mean, think about it.
in
This
IMAX.
is- I mean, how many horror movies have been featured in IMAX?
Not a lot.
Not a
So I
lot.
think that's why I'm very
Last
surprised
one,
by it.
probably Slender Man. Shitty movie.
Did we see that in IMAX?
No.
I was gonna say-
I have not been inside this IMAX theater since Superman versus Batman. Coincidentally,
I'm sorry.
not that great of a movie either. So maybe tainting my impression of the I heart movies, I am movies, I max movies experience. Anyway, that's coming
Now,
down.
Will you see Endgame in an IMAX?
I've seen Endgame in DFX because that motherfucking movie's 3 hours long and I want to be able to put my feet up.
Gotcha.
Makes sense.
Yeah, also 48 hours out from Endgame. Bring your tissues. Nut the fuck up. Captain America is not coming back. Start wrapping your mind around it. Chris Evans spoiled that one. I'm not spoiling it for you. Everybody else been fucking tweeting about, oh, I'll play Thor as long as I can. And Brie Larson's 7 movie mega deal, which Brie Larson sucks. Captain Miracle, Captain Marvel, not a shitty movie as a whole, but Brie Larson, that's the face of the next version of the
The
Avengers.
Scrolls were definitely the saving grace of that film.
Samuel L. Jackson was the saving grace of that film.
Well, that the Scrolls.
And what was
I
it?
fell in love with the Scrolls even more. Just seeing
What was the name of those
I fell in love with
things?
him too the first time I saw him on Star Trek like 20 seasons ago.
What was the name of those things? That cat?
Goose,
What's its creature name?
like a Griffling or a Gryffindor or something. I don't know.
Fluger or some shit. That thing was badass.
Rick, have you seen Captain Marvel?
I haven't watched any of them.
You've not seen one Marvel movie ever? Not
Start
one.
now, 40,
One
42
movie.
hours.
You've not seen
Pieces
one Marvel movie since Iron Man to right now. Not one from start to finish.
Yeah, I have, but I'm not into it. Sorry. I have no idea what you guys
He
are
just
talking
shit
about.
all
Holy
over
shit!
Jimmy right now.
Angela
did.
would probably cry
Danielle.
right now.
Grab a chair, babe.
Lexi, how many Marvel movies have you seen?
I've seen like a lot of them just because my nephews watch them, but I don't think I've seen the actual full movies.
Who is your favorite character?
Captain America.
Hi.
Said cat.
Danielle joining us now.
Danielle.
Yes.
Danielle,
Right.
Yeah.
who is your favorite Marvel character? Neither.
Yeah, I'm not into Marvel. Anything like that.
So here's where they fucked up. Chris Evans, when he got done shooting, he like Instagrammed a photo of his shield and was like, thank you for all the years of being your captain. Doesn't sound like he's coming back after the last one. Thor, everybody else, I'm excited to play Thor for as long as they want me to play Thor.
What if
Doesn't
he's
sound like
trolling
some...
everybody?
Huh?
What if he's trolling everybody?
I guess. I guess.
They've only trolled people this whole, 11 years?
Well, they literally said... the director literally came out like a day ago and was like, everything in the trailer isn't in the movie. We just did all fake footage for you.
Oh, wow.
And whether or
Hey,
not...
they did that for Infinity War. There was a bunch of fake footage.
And whether or not, like, yeah, because they did it for Infinity War, everybody's like, fuck, is it all fake? Like, it's not like they don't have the money to spend on a fake trailer.
Hey, they did it
so.
with Rogue One. Filmed tons of scenes that weren't even.
Yeah, see, that's a different story because I think that was going to be in the movie, and
They literally were like, "This looks cool. Let's do this shot."
yeah, Rogue One, they had some difficulties. Episode 9 looks ridiculous. Episode 9 looks like it's going to be the end game for Star Wars.
Yes, we hope.
But they've got like 9 other projects announced, so it's not really the end game, but
Or maybe.
the end game for the Skywalker lineage. So La Llorona, say it correctly,
La Llorona.
has appeared at Halloween Horror Nights. Is that not how you're supposed to say it? Who's closer, my enunciation or Ashley's?
She's the
For
bitch.
those of you, listening, Lexi's giving me a very, are you fucking kidding me right now?
I mean,
Look, and
I'm not gonna lie, mine is still very whitewashed, but like, it's better than your version.
so,
Lexi, just say it for everyone.
Hands down, like, yeah, way better.
so say it. How
Oh,
would
for me?
Yeah, how would you say
Why are
it?
you gonna put me on the spot like that, though? That makes me nervous.
We need one.
Just say La Llorona.
La Llorona?
There you go. That's it. So she has showed up in scare zones. Not
See,
she,
I like
Lexi.
her.
She, La Llorona.
No, I like Lexi. She's just like staring at you like, get this shit right, motherfucker.
Oh, she works with me almost every day. She knows what's up. But she's been in scare zones and in 2 mazes in Hollywood already, but never based on an actual movie or anything. That's why this movie qualifies to be nominated on this season of Campfire Chronicles. I can already tell John's energy that he's giving off. He is very much like he's just going to be
I don't
yes,
know.
yes, yes.
Just like
Yes,
he wants
yes,
to see
yes.
that movie in IMAX. It's
Yeah.
just coming off of him. You know,
So-
we can just pick up on it.
Just as a refresher, we have a Pet Cemetery scare zone based on the 2019 Not Back for a Haunted House. And last week, The Sand was not voted in any regard. A movie this year, Charlie can
Sorry, I
be...
missed it, Jim.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think you would have voted for it.
Charlie, I could almost guarantee you
The poster was
you
enough
would have went
not to
home.
vote for it.
The amount of retweets that I got with people posting other movies that have used that exact same poster design was
Yeah.
astronomical. Like at least 4 movies about a beach, Blood at Night on Blood Beach, like,
Right.
and it's literally a chick from the waist up dangling out of the sand with blood or a killer behind her or whatever variation you can come up with, but the exact same poster.
The whole like first 5 minutes of the
Believe it.
movie were like tits.
Well, it's like a Girls Gone Wild video.
Yeah.
Like, there's
Yeah.
kids just drunk on spring break. It's to be
Yeah.
expected.
Yeah.
What's not to be expected is them bringing like a 450-pound clamshell and just dropping it in the middle of their bonfire, and then like 350-pound black guy gets stuck in a trash can, and they draw dicks all over his face. And then the thing comes to life and starts... Like, it was a very slow movie. It could have been wrapped up in, like, 25 minutes and been a solid thing.
Just make it short.
Like it was like 15 minutes every 10 minutes of them just like, what are we gonna do? We're out here on a beach. And then Jamie Kennedy shows up. You know who Jamie Kennedy is. Shows up fucking loaded out of his mind. Looked terrible. Not sober. He kind of stumbles out of his police car. He's like, oh, look at this guy. Oh, this guy over here looks like syphilis is on his belly. and he drops his keys and the monster eats his arm off and he dies.
A little name recognition there, huh?
They
Just to
totally-
spice up the movie.
No, they totally tried to pull the we got a D-list celebrity to appear in this film.
Yeah.
And that Hail Mary was not caught. Because he showed up just atrocious. But when La Llorona has showed up as a haunted house theme at Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood, has not been bad. The second time they brought her, they actually built a river running through the haunted house, and you saw her dead children's bodies floating in the haunted house.
Awesome.
It's actually a legend, right? It's
Yeah.
actually that.
Yeah, the premise, the whitewashed version that they used for Halloween Horror Nights is that she was in love with this man, but she was also married with kids or something along
No, it
those
was
regards.
the guy that she was in love with. They got married, had kids, and then she caught him being unfaithful. And so then, being angry, she took her kids and drowned them in the river.
Oh, okay.
Huh. The version I heard was she kills her kids so she could go be with like some other dude. No?
No.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
But the maze at Universal, they kind of played on like all the different legends. Like they did the whole thing with her the first time.
Oh, okay.
They did the whole thing with her eating kids and stuff. So I mean, they really like
Wow.
did like a whole like thing of just every little bit of the legends
Yeah.
and threw them in.
Yeah.
That's why it was really cool. The maze was like amazing.
Wow.
So for you growing up, was this something that your family used? It was very
Which
real
version?
for you.
What you said, like
said,
being
like,
unfaithful. no. Oh yeah, being unfaithful and then drowning them.
Do they use it like the boogeyman? Is that how they did like?
Basically, yeah, like
Just
don't
that.
cry.
Like-
Basically, like telling you don't cry or La Llorona's gonna come and get you.
Oh wow.
It's a way for them to tell you to suck it up, basically. Because you guys have that, you have El Cucuy, and then you also have
Chupacabra.
Chupacabra, right? And then La Chancla, which is always
Oh, that's number one.
that's number one. That's
What's
like you,
Weird.
That's
What's
every
that?
day.
La Chancla.
Sandal.
What do you
That's
mean
the
what's
flip
that?
flop.
Your Spanish is on point.
Yeah, yeah.
My ex-husband was half Mexican, half white, so his
The
mom.
flip flop?
It's good.
Yeah, La Chancla.
Throw flip flops.
Yeah.
Your abuelita will throw this across the room, and you could be standing in the middle of the road, and she'll nail you every time.
If your mom, or like my mom, if she wants to hit one of us, all she has to say is, "I'm gonna get the chancla."
And then that's it.
Come get like.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Beat the shit out of their kids with flip flops.
So 3 monsters
seen-
and a pair of shoes.
I've seen the
Top
chancla
4
go around the
fears.
corner and knock someone in the back of the head. And we're talking about, legit
She's dead ass right now. Curve the wall. I
curve
tell
the
ya.
wall. Like, I can't even think of the name
That's
right
why
now.
it wasn't
They're-
far fetched in Coco.
What are the other sandals? They're the buy them at the flea market.
What the Mexicans?
Huaraches. The huaraches come around the corner
Yeah.
and just
And they're not light. They're hard.
yeah, they're like heavy cork. Like it looks like a cork, like Birkenstocks, like white people Birkenstocks. That's kind of like huaraches, and they come around the corner and they smack you in the back of the head.
Like they're light, but they hurt. Basically. They're fast enough to.
We
tuck
grew
at
up with
you.
wooden spoons. They grew up with chanclas.
Interesting.
Still,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how old you are. They'll still. It's still coming for you.
I went to a wedding and watched a bride get her ass whooped with a chancla because she
Wow.
was dirty dancing with her husband on the dance floor.
So who was
Intriguing
the one that
stuff.
hit her?
Her abuelita, her grandma.
You got all that right?
La Llorona, so she's pissed. The guy doesn't love her, so she kills her kids. And immediately out of the gate, Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood, they get the word they're doing an original maze. What are they going to do? Something fucking Mexican. We're only 2 hours away from the border. It's got to be some kind of Hispanic folklore. So they pull double L, triple L, really, out of the waxwork, bring her into it. Like I said, they made her look super cool.
Well, remember,
I bought the shirt.
It actually started out as a scare zone for them.
Yeah.
They tested it out as a scare zone and had her as part of the terror tram.
Don't remember her on the tram. I remember the scare zone.
I remember her out there on the terror tram, and that was just to kind of see what kind of reaction they would get. And because of that, then they did the full-on haunted house.
For those who didn't make it to like Halloween Horror Nights 10 and 11, the scare zone was just some chicks in bridesmaids dresses with creepy makeup screaming at you. So, in fog, so you couldn't see her coming. So it was scary enough. Rated super high because, again, we're in Los Angeles.
Do they have Mexican films based on her? Or Spanish
Yes.
language films based on her?
100%. Seen a couple.
So she's been in movies. She has a
Yeah.
history. Okay.
There's a lot of.
There's some whitewashed ones like on Netflix.
Are there different versions in the movies too?
Yeah.
So
it
they
just
take a different.
It depends, honestly, what part of Mexico you grew up. They have their own.
Okay.
I think that was the whole thing with, I think it was more towards like Texas and stuff, is where they used the horse head legend. Where like because of what she did to shame her, they put like a horse head on her.
Oh, okay.
And so then she was forced to walk around with a horse head, and like it became
Wow.
like the horse skull, basically.
You know, the first I've heard about it is really this movie. I mean, I've never heard the legend before, and
We also featured it in our haunted house, Higby Horror Haunt.
cool.
That's true. That's the first room that you walked into. La Llorona was there waiting for you. Even when he was a she.
Yeah.
The part in the original maze that I don't like is when you had to go to the horse stable, and it just felt like a horse was like blowing and kicking right behind the door the whole time as you're progressively making your way down these horse stables.
And then they had her on stilts with the horse head come
Oh,
reaching
wow.
down at you.
She's pretty scary.
Yeah, I guess so. Were you aware of the legend before Hollywood Horror Nights?
I had no
And you
fucking
saw-
idea who she was. No. But I researched it once they announced it. They also have done El Cocoy, but the La Llorona one was done better.
Oh yeah, way better.
El Cocoy was just like your generic boogeyman maze. You were walking
had
through like kids' rooms, and then
It had some cool touches, like once you hit the part where his lair, where he like put the pumpkins on the kids'
when he was
heads.
slaughtering, it was pumpkin spice. I like that.
That was awesome.
I mean, that's what kids' insides really smell like. I don't know. Maybe I could be a
Well, they
child
did like a
killer.
little thing towards the island of dolls as well. They did a little thing from the El Cocoy maze for that, which is a place in Mexico where it's literally just a little island filled with just broken dolls.
I have
and
seen that.
everything, Yeah.
Yeah.
So they did a little thing for that.
You ever been there? Isle of Dolls? No? Would you ever go? Yeah? Rick, would you do it? So apparently these two fucking guys are just bugging me. They really want to go back to Empire Mine Road, which John and Ashley have not been to. That is our paranormal experience that you can probably still find on our channel that we had with DeathWorks. Yeah, super fond of those people. So we may be doing some paranormal road trip.
Investigations, huh?
Yeah, Empire Mine Road.
Let's do it.
Bring your bug spray.
All right.
Where's that out again?
Antioch.
Antioch.
I'm down. Let's go. Right now.
I'm not going out there right now.
Why not?
I'm just not going out there right
We
now.
don't have bug spray.
We need to start. We need to start that trek at like
Have you seen the pictures?
4
that
o'clock
they
in the
took?
afternoon.
Yeah, the pictures you took that had the.
The place is not for the faint of heart.
No, it's
How long
not.
does it take to get there?
It's probably about a 45-minute walk from where the road is closed.
Right.
Um,
Antioch?
hour and 10, hour and 15.
Probably.
So, John, your prediction for this, what did you rate these mazes when you went through them the first time?
Hour 10.
I was super impressed with them. I mean, I rated them pretty high. I think even when we did our top lists, it was on there as one of my tops.
Yeah.
But I mean, the detail work and just the originality is what was so unique and different.
They had, I don't know who it was a Hispanic movie star. So they had a Spanish mission.
It was Diego Luna.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh, really?
So,
Makes
me like it even.
Really? No.
It was.
it was, yeah.
It was.
They had Danny Trejo do El Cocoy, so I'm just not,
Very fitting.
Really?
yeah.
Wow. I'm impressed.
But you'd walk up to the Spanish mission, and Diego Luna is telling the story of her, but he's telling it in his creepy ass
dark, yeah.
Diego Luna voice, like, she drowned her children, and the fucking church bells are dong, 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 and you hear her weeping, and then they just like flash project her face onto the church. And so you walk into the church, and it's the kid's funeral, and you like walk through the village, and like I said, you saw the river, and you went to the horse stable, and there was a couple more like mausoleum mission-esque rooms, and that's pretty. But it was pretty good. That was
that
that
does
was
sound pretty cool.
that was
It
the second one.
terrifying. Like, it was definitely one of the more scarier mazes that they did.
And maybe because you're not real familiar with the legend.
I think that's what it is, and you don't really know what to expect. I mean,
Right.
a lot of this stuff,
Right.
they've gotten to the point now where if you've seen the movie, they kind of have the haunt play out in like with
Like
the
the
movie.
movie,
So
right.
when you're walking through, it's like, well, I've seen it. I know
Yeah,
they're gonna be right
yeah.
here. Like the stage is set up the same way,
Yeah.
you know. So it starts to be pretty repetitive from the film to while this was completely original. So it's
Sure.
just you had no idea what to expect.
Yeah,
where
that's-
they were going to have her hiding and stuff like that.
Right. Right.
Because they even did like catacombs where you went into like catacombs and they had a bunch of like little kids, like bodies that were all dressed up like in the walls and stuff. And then like she came out between them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, she is a creepy
That
character.
does sound scary.
So, in this trailer, which was a very elongated trailer, it was like a 3-minute trailer, because they showed you that whole scene in the car. Out of this movie, I'm expecting a lot of startle scares and a lot of like drawn out sequences to get to the startle. So, the kid's gonna be like walking down a dark road, and the music's gonna kick in, and when is she gonna pop out? When is she gonna pop out? When is she gonna pop out? There she goes. That's how this movie's gonna get you.
Do you think that they're going to go deep as far as her backstory goes? Or do you think they're going to be very light on it to save it for eventually doing like a La Llorona Origins?
Well, I don't know. Is this affiliated with the Conjuring thing? You've been throwing out the Conjuring
We were
thing.
talking, Ashley and I
Apparently
were
it's the
talking
same
about
priest.
that. There's a priest that appears, Father Perez,
Father Perez.
he appears in this movie as well. But that's like the only connection.
Yeah,
There's
otherwise
very
it's standalone.
slight connection. But
If
one
his
of the
name's Father
reviews,
Perez, then that's a full connection.
yeah. Well, one of the reviews I read was that they wish there had been more of a connection with.
Yeah, but I
You know,
wouldn't
the
want
Conjuring.
it to really have a full connection because they're not really affiliated.
Yeah.
Interesting that
But there
they're
is
doing that.
a connection.
I know Conjuring 3 is about the first person who tried to use possession as a defense to get off for murder.
Oh wow, that should be interesting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'd much rather see La Llorona. The thing about La Llorona is that if they tell her origin story, I feel like they would do her justice to tell her origin story, to have Father Perez or whoever the hell tell the story, but they better like flash it back.
I want to see some visuals.
Yeah.
Like,
If it's just him like sitting there and like it's just like that
yeah,
2-minute thing on his face and her face reacting to what he's saying,
yeah.
then you totally leave it open. Like, you could do a La Llorona origin story.
And have it take place during that time era. And
Yeah.
having her, where the legend begins with her
I
terrorizing
think the
kids or
idea
something.
is that it will be a series of films.
But if they do, like, why
Yeah,
not?
it did well for its
Yeah, it
opening
did well
weekend.
its opening weekend.
I'm telling you,
It
they
did.
do like if they do the one flashback, that kind of fucks them for any kind of origin story. Like, if they do like a 5-minute flashback of her becoming La Llorona, like, it'll be a while before they try to like origin story anything.
Yeah. Because this film takes place in current day.
Right.
Do we know a location? Is it supposed to be in Mexico, or is it just
Mexico, I'm
USA?
assuming. I don't know. The border, at the wall,
All right.
periodically.
They're putting up the wall.
No
and it's pissing her
wall
off.
can hold her out. She coming. Scaling over that fucking wall. The spider crawling over it. Which, by the way, if La Llorona spider crawled, immediately 110% scary.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, oh, it's me.
Ay, Dios mío.
And she's crawling on the wall and shit. And she's wet from the water. Stringy hair, ghost girl stringy hair, is way scarier than just normal hair.
It is. Something terrifying.
Put a
about
lot of
girl.
thought into this, Jim.
No, yeah, like Lexi's hair right now, not scary. You pale out her face, darken in the eyes, and string out the hair. She's creepy.
Wet it
Scary.
out and put it in front of her
Yeah.
face. Yep.
Yep. 110%. Haven't heard on Kane's perspective if he's voting yes or no. We always leave the option for a vote of last year's houses to either return, or even a candidate that didn't get in last year to be brought back up into the ride category for this year. But you wouldn't get to vote in either form or fashion for La Llorona. This would be the ample time, Charlie, if you're going to mention Jason X and what a dark ride experience it could make. You could forfeit right now. Yes, thank you.
Water? Or Pepsi?
Yes, please.
Jim, this is one of those times when I wish I was really drunk so I could tell you what I think of Jason X.
Well, fun story, SinisterCreatureCon.com right now. Get your tickets, because Charlie, you're going to get drunk and tell Jason X what you think of Jason
know.
X.
Wait, hang on.
Friday.
That is true.
Will
Saturday,
you tell
June
him to
15th.
his face that Jason X is an awful film?
That it sucks?
Will you tell him that to his face?
Kane Otter. Kane Otter in all form and fashion
Probably not.
is
Let
the
me see how
headliner
big he is
for
first, and then I'll tell you.
Jason for Sinister Creature Con. June.
If I walk up to him and just say, Jason X was the biggest piece of shit I ever saw in my life,
Damn.
what will you give me?
I don't know. A lot more respect. I was just don't fucking say that to him immediately before he walks out for an interview.
Oh,
Like,
Tyler Moon.
hey, Kane, before Jimmy interviews you, I just want you to know, and Jim, I'm going to be heading on home after I say this.
But I really loved Hatchet.
That movie fucking sucked. No, yeah, Hatchet is scary. Jason X, fantastic film. Kane Otter is the headliner for Sinister Creature Con June. We also have Doug Bradley, Pinhead, Hellraiser.
That's right.
Jimmy will
it's
be
a dynamite
cast.
lineup.
Jimmy will be
this
waiting
time.
in line to get choked out by Kane.
Yep,
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
We also have Tuesday night, star Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and 5. We also have
Joe Bob?
Joe Bob Briggs. Charlie's excitement level always peaks for one guest a year.
Joe Bob.
This year, hands down, Joe Bob Briggs, Charlie's number one. There is a slew of other ones. SinisterCreatureCon.com. After the Kane Otter announcement, though, I'm going to be honest, it was Kane Otter's going to be at Sinister Creature Con, and then all these other cool people will be too.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I remember hearing that Kane Otter was the one who would never
I did
appear
not think, when they
at
announced him,
Sinister Creature Con because I think there was some problem with Negotiations?
No, it was a problem with Sacramento, apparently. There was something had been said where he didn't want to come to Sacramento, but whatever has happened since then, so that was like in October, like a year and a half ago.
Maybe he's heard some positive buzz about Sinister Creature Con, because, you know, a lot of people do the convention,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
The
I mean,
Maybe
convention
Tyler Maine
tour.
told him you should go.
Yeah.
maybe our CJ Graham.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
I regret
That's a cool
now.
dude.
I have a Jason mask that my uncle just gave me. That is signed by Ari Aster, who was the first Jason. And the only negative side of that is not having it to have CJ Graham
Yeah.
or Steve Dash sign it. But
I got
True.
Steve Dash to sign my pop.
that's
They got
collector's
him
item now.
And the guy that played Tommy Jarvis.
Don Matthews, he's
Yeah.
cool. But yeah, all of those guys. So those will all be movies that we do on Campfire Chronicles between here and there. Like not Jason X, but other Kane Otter, Friday the 13th. Like Jason Takes Manhattan is in the pipeline, as is Hellraiser, and the other ones that we got to watch to prepare for Sinister Creature Con June 15th and 16th.
Would you say this is the best lineup of guests that they've had since you've been doing it?
It's always interesting because when we have a name like him, your expectation is so high that it's hard for him to live up to it.
That's true.
Where when we had a year like we had with that year that we had where Danielle Harris got sick, and I ended up doing the panel with George and Nathan Basil,
Right.
and we talked about like old versus new killers.
Right.
Like that's still one of my favorites.
And that was a great transition. You did a good job of putting that together.
I can tell you my top 3 Sinister Creature Con panels that I've ever done, ever, are number 3 would be Billy Bryan, the dude who did all the creature effects for Ghostbusters.
Right.
Because he was like the first headliner that I got to talk to. Then probably that Nathan and George panel.
Yeah.
And then my number 1 is still probably Victoria Price.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was
She was amazing.
super. Yeah, she was a very
She was
great.
just like cool to talk
Yes,
to
she
out
was.
that whole weekend. Like I went up to her multiple times. Usually my routine is I introduce them to all you guys. Here's Charlie and Chris. If he doesn't come grab you, here's John and Ashley. One of them are coming to grab you. One of them are taking you back to the table. 2 and 2. Like, are you okay with audio visual? Then I leave them alone, and then throughout the weekend I'll see them in the green room and bullshit with them, or see them in the morning and bullshit with them. And then usually now I hang out with the ones that I have a rapport with, like Nathan.
Right.
I always we'll go bug Nathan.
Yeah.
Or Michelle. Always will go say what's up to her. But the one that I was constantly going up to their table just to like hear them talk was Victoria.
Yeah.
Like, just tell me stories about your dad.
Yeah, she was cool.
Tell me stories about you, because what she's doing, I mean, she's homeless and she just roams and does motivational speaking.
She does, which is
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, interesting way of life.
But all that being said, again, sinistercreaturecon.com for your tickets. Would anybody nominate an older movie from last year to forego their La Llorona vote tonight?
No.
John emphatically, no. John wants this to just blow up so badly. Yes. You can do your
I just don't
you can do
know.
your nonchalant John shrug right now, but I see the fire that is burning in your
I
eyes.
just don't know what else I would want from last year to really be a ride or anything like that.
XNX. 13 Ghosts. Fuck 13 Ghosts. Last season was coated with that fucking movie.
John, I don't remember. Were you on the Jason X bandwagon?
No, I
last
was
year?
not. I was not part of that Notorious podcast.
How many people were it?
You want to see? It was you,
I was
Andrew,
I
Derek,
heard it
and I.
was so good that even
If you ever want to hear
Fate itself created a way for
If you
you
wanna
guys to
hear
have
what-
that whole thing deleted.
If you want to hear what Charlie, if you want to hear what Charlie sounds like when he's about to cry, listen to that podcast. When the realization hits him at about 11:30, we have to do the whole thing over again, and we start breaking down the movie again. And Charlie's just like,
Oh,
"Are we
God.
really fucking doing this right now?"
Yeah. Yeah, not a memorable moment.
It's a good movie. Whole hell of a lot better than The Sand. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah, I'll give it that.
The Sand was hard to watch.
How did The Sand come to your attention? Who recommended The Sand?
It was on Facebook. This dude posted a picture of this guy's face peeling off. It was like 2015 movie, The Sand. And then I like Googled it, and I'm like, oh, you can watch this whole thing for free on YouTube.
And
Should have been the first song.
I'm glad we didn't pay for it.
free was too expensive.
Yeah. Cost us a couple hours of time.
Yeah.
So going in, John, what is your prediction for this movie? 1 out of 10. What do you think you're gonna exit the theater as the Mexican hat dance or La Cucaracha's playing whatever?
Jesus, Jimmy. Just fucking throw them all in there, why don't you?
Name another one. That's all I got. La Bamba.
Are you done?
No, he's still thinking.
The song that plays on the Speedy Gonzales cartoon.
What is that?
What about?
It's just some instrumental
what about
jingle. I don't know. Tequila. See, tequila makes me just think of Beetle or Pee Wee Herman. Pee Wee Herman, yeah.
Makes me think of Sandlot.
Oh, Sandlot.
Oh, that
Yeah.
Even you, Sandlot.
Yeah,
So I guess
So what do you-
makes me want to throw up?
What is your expectation on
About a 6 or 7. So probably 6.5.
Danielle? Got to say, the look in Danielle's eyes tonight, cautiously optimistic. She's probably going to enjoy this one more than Pet Sematary.
Yeah, I'm hoping, because I'm going to shoot for a 9.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Damn.
That is
The highest Danielle
Shit,
pre-movie score she's ever thrown out.
Because I feel like I'm going to get scared shitless.
Let me ask you: did Slender Man scare you?
Never seen it.
It's the right answer.
What?
Ashley, what are you gonna give it?
I'm hoping for at least a 7.5.
Charlie,
I have good feelings. I'm going to say an 8.
Rick,
I'm hoping for an 8. I never watched any of the trailers purposely.
going in completely dry.
Nice.
Lexi,
I
childhood fear. Lexi, brought to life on an IMAX screen. She's big, she's bad, she's watery. What are you gonna give it?
Shit.
Oh my god.
Don't forget that.
Honestly, I think it's gonna be a 6. But I haven't seen any of the trailers or anything for it, so
Nothing.
nothing.
Damn. So
Because I want to just wait and see. I don't want any knowledge of it already.
I'm gonna go 6.5. I feel like there's a lot of hope. We're in that weird summer month phase for a horror movie to where they usually throw one out and they market the fuck out of it. Check that box off. They've marketed the fuck out of her. But you're in that weird realm of Endgame and everything else is coming out. And so La Llorona is either going to be really good or it's going to be one of those movies that no one talks about a year from now. And I am going to bold prediction it right now, though, and say, actually, before I do, find out what studio did this real quick. La Llorona, what studio? I'm going to say 6.5. There's going to be some creepy scares. I think the coolest thing about this is going to be the set design and the costume design. And that is why, because
New Line Cinema.
New Line Cinema is doing it, which Halloween Horror Nights has a good relationship with. I'm going to say before summer is done, it's going to be announced.
Warner Brothers purchased New Line, right?
Yeah, but they're not doing it this
So
year.
now it's
Money talks.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers owned New Line when they brought them all before. I think La Llorona will be at Halloween Horror Nights this year, officially.
3 days ago, Curse of La Llorona tops the North American box office was $26.5 million.
what was its budget?
$26.5 million is decent for a horror movie.
Especially one that probably didn't have that high
We're gonna go find out if Pastor Perez or whatever his name is, what's his name?
budget.
Father
Father
Perez.
Perez can exorcise these demons into our virtual scare park. John's never wanted one in so bad.
Excuse me. I don't know about that.
The highest pre-ranking for Danielle, which sets the stage for a colossal film already in season 4, or a humongous piece of shit. Hang out and listen for the music. We'll be back after the Curse of La Llorona. Trailer predictions, episode 9. The end game thing will be the silence your cell phones. Annabelle comes home. I don't know what, Spider-Man or something fucking weird they'll throw in there. And
They've already made their money back.
oh shit, there's only had a $9 million budget.
Yeah, that's nothing.
So they're
La Llorona Origins coming down the turnpike.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
probably right.
That's pointing in that direction. Yeah. And the last trailer is gonna be Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Yes. There's my little wild card up in there. Give me back my big toe. Keep in mind with that we have all those still to come this season. Scary Stories, It Chapter 2.
Like Scary Stories, we have already decided that that's going to be a main
Which,
show.
by the way, special side note to everybody online, the It Chapter 2 trailer that's got Patrick Wilson in it, it's not real. Calm the fuck down on that trailer, please. Like, everyone's just blowing my Facebook up. Have you seen this? How come you're not reporting on this? How come you haven't talked about this yet? It's not a real trailer. Calm down. They're going to release a real trailer in July. It's going to be my bold statement. It comes out the beginning of September. You'll see something in the beginning of July.
I know we've been seeing that like since the first one came out. There's been that big
Hate to
trailer.
spoil you even more. Patrick Wilson, not in Chapter 2. It's McAvoy.
I'll have you read this after you're done.
All right.
It's a good movie.
We'll be back after the film. We got to go buy our tickets. Well, Charlie, it's over, and I got to say that was the best goddamn horror film I've watched in a long time.
I agree.
That was great.
I thought it was great too.
If only Halloween 2018 and Pet Sematary 2019 could be half as good as La Llorona 2019.
I will say it was better than Pet Sematary. I will say that. A lot of good jump scares.
I think Jimmy shit his pants like 4 times.
Yeah.
The movie is terrifying.
It was.
Definitely scary.
Danielle's wrecked.
Definitely good.
Spoiler alert, this does exist within the Conjuring universe.
But I like that they just did that little thing.
It was a
wasn't
nod.
like
It was a nod to
Yeah, it was
it
enough
wasn't
to connect.
overdoing it. That's why I don't
Well,
get
think
it.
about it. The Conjuring series is a great series.
Yeah,
so
it
it's
is.
it's a good nod to a great series.
This is just as good as the Annabelle movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a film that had the vibe of like The Nun,
Yeah. But more like
but it was scary.
grounded and in like your hometown, so it was a lot more terrifying.
It was
The
definitely
fact that it takes place in a house, because then it makes you go home and go, oh shit.
Yeah, right.
I'm just really glad that I don't live in a 2-story house with an attic or a basement right now.
The imagery of it was super dope. The way that
Enjoy climbing down your stairs tonight.
that final scene. I love the imagery of the final scene where she's just waiting outside the house.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
creepy.
It was well directed. It was
And I enjoyed
well written.
the bit of her story that they told at the beginning. Like, I felt like they just gave us enough of what we wanted.
Yeah,
rather than
they could still do
overflowing it. So yeah, they could still
do some kind of an origin thing.
to where it starts out in Mexico with her getting some of the kids there.
Yeah.
You know, but
I swear to God, I was gonna punch you at the first one. I'm sorry.
So
I'm like,
well, they did a great job with her story, with the mom and her
Well,
husband
they
that
did the
passed.
build-up was really good. Like,
They just did a great job all around. I mean,
Lexi, what'd you think?
Lexi, we'll go outside to the little lobby. So they're really turning up
the Siri music. I can already picture in the hot, and it's gonna be terrifying.
We'll be right back from the lobby. So if you can imagine a Conjuring take on the La Llorona folktale, you would have what is this movie? This movie is terrifying. Everything from start to finish. It was it was super impressively shot. Super scary. All the employees are getting ready because I know they're doing like a barbecue right now, and then they're going to do a 12 o'clock showing of Avengers Endgame for all the employees.
Are they really?
Yeah. But 1 out of 10, I think for the first time since we've done this show, give La Llorona wholehearted and emphatically a 10 out of 10. I don't know how you make this movie. Sorry. I don't know how you make this movie any better than what you did. Anything that I would change would only detract from what they put together. It was very well done.
Well, the really nice thing is that...
You know what's actually crazy is you think about it, for a horror film, there's only 2 deaths.
Well, like we talked
Yeah.
about before, when we
Oh yeah.
when we talked about at El Rosal, you know, there's a lot of different stories on this. And they could have gone a lot of different ways. But what I really liked about this is they just basically took the meat and potatoes, the core of the storyline, and just dumped it and left it at that. They didn't go in one which direction or another. It's just an accumulation of like the basis of all the stories.
Exactly.
And it was enough to make you want to shit your pants.
Oh yeah.
Right, Danielle?
agreed.
Danielle almost punched me.
I saw when the door blew open, Shia was almost in the other seat.
Yeah.
So I say 10 out of 10. Charlie, what do you give
I
it?
say 9 out of 10.
Danielle?
Oh, 10 all the way.
10 out of 10 for sure.
10.
Before I say anything, why are you giving it a 9 and 0 to 10?
I don't know. I thought it was a 9 is excellent.
I think
So
a
I thought
10
it was
for
excellent.
Charlie is like the peak. Like we have
Yeah,
to
it
remember,
is.
classic Charlie, he's seen a lot of cinematic features come around in his time. He
In my
wants to
time.
find that pinnacle piece.
In the last 100 years, I've seen them all.
Lexi, what would you give it 1 out of 10? Oh, shit.
Wow.
Don't bust Charlie's balls, John. Go bust Lexi.
Well, but she grew up with the fear of La Llorona, where we didn't.
Did
so
it match?
Yeah.
So I'm glad they kept it because I made it good.
Well, that's what I was saying, that when we were talking at El Rosal, we talked about all the different storylines that it has, and they just basically took the meat and potatoes from all of that and just kind of kept the similarities and just kind of the basic myth and went with it, and that's what I really liked about it.
Rick, what did you give it?
I'm at like a 7 or 8. I thought it was better.
Well, it was, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
That's close.
I've never seen it, and I'll never see it. So
Haunted house. Are we all saying yes? Based on this film?
By the way, I give it a 9.5.
I'm yes for a haunted house. With
I'm
you.
yes all the way across the board.
I'm yes for
Definitely.
everything.
Yeah. There's not even a question.
I propose that it has a ride where it's La Llorona River cruises, and you're going down the Mexican River, and you see her on the riverbed.
Don't forget the fire trees
Yeah, and the fire trees.
with the sun peeking through to give you that glimmer, like they showed in the beginning of the film. That's probably your start, your entrance. Sun in your face, looking through the fire tree, and then it kind of goes and it starts to fade out, and that's when it gets dark and turns into a dark ride.
Are you gonna do like Amityville, and instead of Jaws attacking the boat, it's just La Llorona?
La Llorona.
like the dude, like Universal Orlando, like grenade launchers and everything. Exact same ride.
I see it more like at Knott's, they do their Calico log ride, and they would have scares along the side of you.
Oh fuck
And
yeah!
I very much see it being something like that, so where you're just cruising down like the river, and it'd be dark, and all of a sudden like they could even have flashlights and just turn them on as you go by, and it'd be enough to make you shit your pants.
Is she a strong enough character? Kane would be so mad if we named what our icon is without him here. Is she a strong enough character, John, to be the icon of the whole event?
I would say yeah.
Charlie.
I know it's early.
I think
of an icon.
I think so. I think they did a good job of setting it up for
Yeah.
sequels myself.
I mean, I think she is a pretty known character now with this, and as a singular character, it's something to get around.
Would you guys go to a Halloween event if La Llorona was like the marquee character? They both said yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's it. Sorry, Andrew, you weren't here. La Llorona, a maze, a ride, and the icon.
What do you think about Scare Zone?
I'm saying no to a scare
I'll
zone.
say with her being a singular character, it would be cool as the icon just have her kind of walking around and making an appearance here
Yeah.
throughout the park.
She's a legend anyway. I mean, she's already got that backstory, you know, like from your childhood
Yeah.
to a natural, I think, icon.
All right. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week from the house. We will be watching The Stand. The original The Stand from Stephen King is next week's film. We will be
4 hours.
Is it a 4-hour
It's a
thing?
mini series.
Okay. We will be watching
6 hours.
We will be watching The Toxic Avenger next week from the house.
Go La Llorona.
While you guys were doing what you were doing, we said Maze, Ride, and this year's icon.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's Universal. Okay.
Oh, snap.
Thank you for listening. Next week, The Toxic Avenger.
We will not be here.
John and Ashley will not be here.
We'll be honeymooning.
So The Toxic Avenger will make up because Andrew's very excited to watch that movie.
Maybe we'll watch it on Monday in our room.
And we will be back next week.
All right.